Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Sorry Pangal, here with the Week 14 NFL preview. And to start, we are going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns game. Before that, don't forget to follow us on all our social media pages at Twitter, OTC Podcast _ and on Instagram at On the Couch Podcast 19. And don't forget to check out the YouTube channel as well at On the Couch Podcast. Now, going into Week 14, Baltimore Ravens heading to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore Ravens coming off the 1-point loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Absolutely just devastating loss. And then just what they heard after that game with the big injury. Marlon Humphrey out for the season. And then Lamar Jackson not playing as well. But for the Cleveland Browns, their second game in a row playing the Baltimore Ravens after playing them, having an off week, and then playing them again. The Browns, both these teams really need this football game, and for a little bit different reasons. The Ravens, they are going into a extremely tough part of their season. This is probably the hardest 5-game stretch of anyone to finish the season. They play the Browns in Cleveland, then they have the Packers at home, go to Cincinnati, LA at home, and then Pittsburgh at home. This is a very tough stretch for the Baltimore Ravens, especially with that defense, which the secondary has been one of the worst in the leagues all year. They're obviously started without Marcus Peters, now no Marlon Humphrey, not been getting as much pressure on the quarterback, even when blitzing. And when blitzing, they've not had as much success. People are just throwing it over top of them. And the offense has struggled a little bit the past couple games. Lamar Jackson, a little bit scary there with his interceptions. I mean, he's threw 4 versus the Brownies. I think he had 1 versus the Steelers. And their offense consistently early in football games has not been there. The late in football games, they've come around. In the big games, like the Chiefs, they came back big. Chargers was the most consistent they played. Then the Vikings, they played good late. And then the Colts, they played good late. They need to be more consistent on offense. And the only way they do that is if they get a more consistent run game. Because right now, this run game, if you look at it, is basically all Lamar Jackson. The running back production, obviously, when you lose your top 3 guys, is not going to be the best. But the offensive line, we thought, will be better, and they have not done as well this season. They're going into the Browns game. Can they win this football game? Yes. Why do they need to win this football game? The Cincinnati Bengals are 1 game behind the Baltimore Ravens in this division, and this is probably the easiest game left on their schedule. Maybe the Steelers, but if they can win this game, go 9-4, and the Patriots would happen to lose, they could move back into the 1 seed very easily. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think the key to the Ravens game is make Baker Mayfield beat you, same as last time, and Baker Mayfield couldn't beat Lamar Jackson when Lamar threw 4 interceptions. The run game last time, the Baltimore Ravens defense played extremely well, only letting up 10 points while they had 4 turnovers on offense. Baker Mayfield was 18 of 37 for 247 yards. And, that was Baker Mayfield not playing very well. And then the rushing game for the Browns, they had 17 carries for 40 yards. Are you kidding me? 17 carries for 40 yards. You're supposed to have the best rushing attack in the NFL. Nick Chubb had 8 carries for 16 yards. Kareem Hunt 7 for 20. That's amazing job by the Baltimore defense. Will they repeat themselves this today on Sunday when they play each other again? I don't know, but that's the key for the Ravens if they're going to win this football game. Now, offensively, Lamar had the 4 picks, but this team had a decent bit of success running the football. They ran the ball a lot more than the Browns did. The Ravens rushed the ball 43 times for 148 yards. Now they were only averaging 3.4 yards a carry, as the Browns were averaging 2.4 yards a carry that game. So, the last game was very hard to watch. The offenses were terrible. The defenses were really good. So, I don't know what type of game we're going to see here. I think it's going to be a very similar game to this for at least the Ravens. I don't know how much success this Ravens team is going to have versus the Browns. Myles Garrett is going to be it's just a terrible matchup for the Ravens. Their offensive line has been terrible all season. Alejandro Villanueva, he has not been looking well at all. So, the Browns should have a lot of success. I think the Browns are going to come away with this victory, unfortunately for my Ravens, but I think the Browns are going to win this game. The Browns moved to 7-6, right back into the AFC wild card. The Ravens will drop to 8-5, and depending on what happens with the Bengals, will either be the AFC North leader or could drop to a wild card spot. Now, we got a couple games that are pretty irrelevant, but I'll make my picks real quick. Jags, Titans. I don't see the Jags putting on much of a fight here. I got the Titans, then Raiders, Chiefs. It's a little bit interesting. Last time the Chiefs offense had their best game of the season, I believe, put up 41. Patrick Mahomes, 405 yards, 5 touchdowns. This was the Chiefs' best game on offense. Now we've seen this defense of the Chiefs play extremely well, and there's a 10-point spread on this game. To me, that's pretty high for the NFL. But this Chiefs defense has been playing so well. I think that the Raiders defense will play a lot better than they did last time. Make this game closer, but I don't see the way that the Raiders can score enough points here, as well as this Kansas City team has been playing. So I think Kansas City will get the win. New Orleans heading to New York to play the Jets. Saints are on a little bit of a losing streak. Taysom Hill had, I believe, 4 picks last week. Saints are 5-7 right now. Jets 3-9. I'm gonna make a little bit of a bold pick here. I'm gonna take those Jets. Zach Wilson's gonna make a few plays. He got Elijah Moore, and Kamara. He hasn't played a couple weeks. He's got that injury. Maybe Kamara coming back could help this New Orleans team because they need something. They're still able have a shot to make the playoffs. 5-7. They're about a game back of that wild card spot. They got a shot here. They need to win this game, but I'm going to take the Jets at home, pulling a little bit of an upset. Now, big game we got in the NFC East. We got the Dallas Cowboys heading to Washington to play the football team. Now, a couple weeks ago, if you had told me this was going to be like a marquee game, something big, and playoff aspirations, I would have told you you're crazy if the Cowboys are just going to roll to this game. But the Washington football team got on a little bit of a win streak. They're up to 6-6 right now. Cowboys are only 8-4, 2 games ahead of this team. And if the football team could pull this win out, they play the Cowboys in 2 weeks after this. So if they can win this football game and then go beat the Cowboys again, they would be tied. Or even better, they could have the lead. They have the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, all division games. So the Washington football team control their own destiny to win this division. The Dallas Cowboys face the football team, the Giants, the football team, the Cardinals, and then the Eagles. So the football team has a very good chance to win this division. Don't forget about the football team. Their defense has been stepping it up recently. Let's see. Let's look at their past 4 wins. They beat the Bucks. 29-19. Shut down that offense. Brady, not a great game. I believe Brady had 2 interceptions. Heineke's been playing better. He had 256 yards, a touchdown. Antonio Gibson playing really well. I believe he's about 4th in no, he's 5th. He's 5th in the NFL in rushing yards right now. He had 2 touchdowns versus the Bucks. And then they beat the Panthers. Panthers aren't much. Seahawks ain't much. Raiders not much. But hey, 4 wins is 4 wins. These teams aren't the best they beat. But a win in the NFL is a win. Look, their losses right now are to the Chargers, who are really good, the Bills, who are really good, the Saints, who are playing better than but not the best. Then they lost to the Chiefs, who are really good. Packers are really good. So I don't know. I would still rock with the Dallas Cowboys right now. The Cowboys recently, they haven't been as hot as they started, like we all expect from the Cowboys, how they usually are. They usually start hot, get a little cold, then make us a little bit excited. But recently, they've lost 2 out of their last 3. They beat the Saints last week. Finally got back from that 2-game losing streak. They lost to the Raiders and the Chiefs, though. Their offense got shut down versus the Chiefs. Then the Raiders put up a lot of points against them. They were able to beat the Saints, 4 interceptions. Now, going into Washington to play the football team, the matchups to me is can the football team shut down this Cowboy offense? I don't know if they can. This Cowboy offense is very, very good. They're ranked top 5 in the NFL. Dak Prescott right now over 3,000 yards. Zeke over 700 rushing yards. CeeDee Lamb over 800 receiving yards. I mean, they're just a bunch of beasts on offense. And, they cooled down a little bit, but this is still one of the best offenses in the NFL. They are ranked first. They are still first in the NFL in yards per game. So, I like this. I like this Cowboy team. I was really high on them earlier in the season. They haven't been putting up as much production lately. That 2-game losing streak a little scared me a little bit, but they still got a really good defense. I like the Cowboys defense with Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons, probably up there for Rookie of the Year. Their defense sitting about 12th in points per game. Not too bad. Rushing yards per game, they're sitting at about 12th as well. And then passing yards per game, they're sitting at about... Oh, wow. Their passing yards per game, they've been letting up a little bit more. They're about 5th worst in the NFL. But the football team, they're not the best on at passing. They're more of a rushing offense. They got Taylor Heineke. They got Terry McLaurin. He's a beast, but this team relies more on its defense, and they're right in the middle of the pack in passing yards per game, and then rushing yards per game. They're about ninth in the NFL. So this team likes to run the football more. Obviously, this matchup is pretty interesting. I think it's gonna be a really good football game, but I'm gonna have to stick with the Cowboys, and if they win this game, they'll really take control of the division. All right, now we got Falcons heading to Carolina to play the Panthers. Cam Newton will be starting for the Panthers. Excuse me. There's not. I mean, both of these teams, realistically, can make the playoffs still. I just don't see it. None of these teams have really been that good all year. If you look at the rest of the NFC wildcard teams, you got teams like the Vikings and the Saints and the Eagles and the 49ers as well, and the football team. And all those teams, I would say, are better than the Panthers and the Falcons. I mean, these teams have not looked very well. The Panthers started off a little bit hot with wins over the Jets, the Saints, and the Texans, and they dropped 4 in a row. They beat the Falcons earlier in the year. They lost to the football team and then the Dolphins. I just don't see it with this Panther team. Their defense is solid most of the time, but this offense and without Christian McCaffrey, I don't see what they can do. The Falcons were rocking at 4-4, rocking at 4-4, and they've dropped 3 out of their last 4 games. So I don't know what this Falcon team. I mean, they got Matt Ryan and Cordero Patterson. Defense struggles. I just don't know. It's just a weird matchup. It's a game that doesn't really matter. I don't think any of these teams can make the playoffs. I believe defensively, we have one of the worst defense. The Panthers are the second best defense in the NFL, and then the Falcons are ranked like 8th worst in the NFL. So I'm going to take the Panthers at home to get this victory. Cam Newton gets this win. Moves them back into the playoff race. I don't know if they'll be able to do anything, but we'll see. If they win this game, they'll be right back in. Whoever wins this game will be right back in at 6-7. Moving on, we got the Seahawks and the Texans. Seahawks coming off that big win over the Niners, heading to Houston to play the worst team in the NFL. I'll take the Seahawks. Move to 5-8. Still alive. Still got a shot. All right, next game, we got the Lions and the Broncos. The Detroit Lions won their first game last week over the Minnesota Vikings on a buzzer beater. A buzzer beater by Jared Goff, passed to the end zone and was caught to win the game. Big game by the Detroit Lions. I believe Jared Goff won Player of the Week in the NFC for offense. He was 25 of 41, 296, and 3 touchdowns. That final passing touchdown was to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Big play as time expired, and the Lions got their first win of the season. This week, they will play the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos right now are 6-6. They are right in it for the AFC playoff race. Their defense has been playing very well. Teddy Bridgewater, he's been off and on. This team beats the bad teams, loses to the good teams right now. They have wins over the Giants, Jags, and Jets, 3 terrible teams. And then they have wins or losses against the Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, and Browns, all mediocre to good teams. Then they have a win over the football team, and then they have a win over the Cowboys, which nobody expected. They also have a win over the Chargers, but they have losses to the Eagles and the Chiefs. It's a really back and forth with them. If they should be able to win this football game, move to 7-6, but their last 4 games are very tough. They got the Cincinnati Bengals at home. They got to go to Las Vegas, then they got to go to LA, and then they get Kansas City at home. So, this team is good on defense. They're all right on offense. They got Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton, Teddy Bridgewater. But I mean, they're going to win this game. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to make the playoffs, though. Moving on, we have the Giants heading to LA to play the Chargers. Giants, they have nothing on offense. Chargers coming off big win in Cincinnati. Gave me the Chargers to win this football game, moving 8-5. Keep the pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs in that division. All right, big game in Cincy. The San Francisco 49ers head to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Bengals coming off really a bad loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. It's a game they should have won. They could have won. The final score says 41-22. I believe, to me, the Bengals really lost this football game. They were down 24-0. They come all the way back. They make it 24-22. and Joe Mixon's running the football and basically just drops it into the hands of the defender who runs it back for a touchdown. And they were down 31-22 with about 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Turn the ball over again. See the Chargers score again, and it's over. I mean, they had 4 turnovers. Burrow had 2 picks. One of them was not his fault. Jamar Chase dropped the ball back to the defensive back. Joe Mixon with the fumble, obviously. That's just the Bengals got to be better than that. They can't be turning the football over. They gave up 6 sacks. I mean, they only had 96 yards rushing. Joe Mixon was held to 2.8 yards a carry versus this LA defense that hadn't been able to stop anybody around the football. The Justin Herbert played a great game though. I mean, they got to be able to guard guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and Austin Eckler even had a good game out of the backfield. So, this Bengal team comes in. They're looking right in the middle of this AFC. They got a shot to win this division or down one game only with that or a Raven team that looks a little bit depleted. They got to beat the 49ers this week. Now, how can they do that? They got to run the football. Joe Mixon, second in the NFL in rushing yards right now. They got to feed Joe Mixon. They got to get him going. And they got to get Joe Burrow. Take some deep shots. He's got T. Higgins. He's got Jamar Chase. Obviously, Jamar is a big, deep guy, but T. Higgins has been playing incredibly well this season. Very underrated, kind of a little bit in the shadow of Jamar Chase right now. But this is 2 pretty good football teams, 2 teams that really want to make the playoffs, and it's a big game for both of them. The Bengals dropped to 7-6 if they lose this game, and the 49ers will drop to 6-7. Now, looking at the Bengals right now, their defense has been playing very solid, only allowing at about 22 points a game, right in the middle of the pack. Their problem has been turnovers. The games they have turned the football over have been the games that they've lost. When they played against the Ravens, their best game of the season to me, they just didn't turn the football over. They played solid offense, solid defense, just good complementary football. When they beat the Steelers, no turnovers, forced turnovers, and that's how you win football games. When they played this Browns team, they lost 41-16. Nick Chubb, 14 carries, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, they had 3 turnovers, and they didn't cause any turnovers. They had 11 more first downs than the Browns. It didn't matter. The Browns caused 3 turnovers, and the Bengals didn't cause any. So the turnovers have been the big part of the story for the Bengals. If they cannot turn the football over, they will be okay, and they will be able to win this game. I believe that. Now, do I think they won't turn the football over? I think they might turn it over once or twice, but I don't think the 49ers quite have enough to win this football game. The 49ers sitting at 6-6, and they came off a bad loss. They were on a 3-game win streak, and then you get the Seahawks, and you lose to the terrible Seahawks. Seahawks have not been playing very well at all. Really bad loss. And before that, I would have said this 49er team's looking pretty solid, but now I'm not. I got the Bengals in this game, and the Niners, I don't know. They got a very solid defense. I don't think Jimmy G has enough. Trey Hendrickson's going to get after him, and the Bengals are going to win this game. Big game at 4:25 on Sunday. We got the Buffalo Bills heading to Tampa to play the Bucs. Now, Bills are coming off a very, very weird loss at home to the New England Patriots. Big news for the Bucs though. They do activate Richard Sherman. He's gonna play. First game, I believe. Hasn't played since week 6. So it's big. They need to keep getting healthy. This roster keeps getting healthy. No way they shouldn't win the Super Bowl. Last week, the Bucs won in Atlanta 30-17. Tom Brady, another MVP performance, 38-51, 368 yards and 4 touchdowns, showing why he is the MVP frontrunner right now. We all know what this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is about. We've always known since they've won the Super Bowl. They're a big time team. They should be the Super Bowl favorite, and they are my Super Bowl favorite. The Bills, they started off very hot, 4-1, and then they've won. They've been very mediocre. They beat the Titans, lost to the Titans, beat the Dolphins, lost to the Jaguars, beat the Jets, lost to the Colts, beat the Saints, lost to the Patriots. I mean, it looks like a win's coming up. They've been win-loss. So it's time for a win. But I don't think they're going to get this win. They're not a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have the number 1 defense in the NFL. But this Bucks team is just different. You got Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, you got Mike Evans, you got Ronald Jones, you got Leonard Fournette. There's just too much on this offense. I don't believe they're going to be able to stop them. There's so many ways they can attack you, and they also got a great defense. They got number 10 defense in the land right now, and this I know that this Bills defense has been something spectacular, though. We have to give credit to them. Right now, they are leading the league in total yards allowed, passing yards allowed, rushing yards allowed, and points per game. They are actually second in points per game, just behind the Patriots. But they've been great all year, and it's really they're 7-5 with the best defense in the league. I mean, when you have the 7-5 or when you have a 7-5 team with the best defense in the league, that's just really weird. This offense, Josh Allen has been playing as well. He's right now sitting at 3,216 yards, 26 touchdowns to 10 picks. He's been sacked 19 times, and I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, they just haven't been able to score in the red zone as much. And they're the 7-5 thing to me is just a little bit mind-boggling when you have the number one defense in the land, led by Tremaine Edmonds, Jordan Poyer, Micah Wallace, Tre'Davious White. This is a great defense, but I'm still sticking with the Bucks, the champs. And you just can't bet against Tom Brady. I don't care what it is. Can't bet against Tom Brady. And watch out. If the Bills are to lose this game, they will drop to 7-6, which means they would basically be out of the division race. If they drop to 7-6, right now they're the 7th seed. Okay, they drop this game. LA wins, Cincy wins, Indy wins, LA wins, or Vegas wins, Pittsburgh wins, Cleveland wins, Denver wins. Any of them win, they'll be tied. They'll be tied. Even the Miami Dolphins will be tied. So this is a big game for them, and this is also a big game for the Bucks though. If they want to get home field advantage right now, they're sitting at number 3. They're a game behind the Cardinals. I don't know if they're gonna be able to catch the Cardinals. Now, I don't think the Bucks need home field advantage anyways, but they're still gonna want to win this game. Show that they're the boss, and they're gonna win this game. I believe in the Bucks. Sunday Night Football, not much here. Chicago's going to Green Bay. Chicago can't compete with Green Bay. This Green Bay team is very, very good. Very possible to make the Super Bowl and win it all. All right, Monday night, though, absolutely huge game in the NFC. L.A., Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, Darrell Henderson, Odell Beckham Jr., Cooper Kupp. All those players will head to Arizona to face the Cardinals. The 10-2, number 1 overall seed, number 1 team in the NFL right now. The Arizona Cardinals, led by Kyler Murray. Last time this team played, it was a butt whooping. LA got butt whooped at home by the Cardinals. Kyler Murray was 24-32, 268 yards, 2 tutties. Chase Edmonds, a beast of a game, 12 carries, 120 yards. And, Arizona outgained them by only 64 yards. They had over 10 minutes more time possession, and LA turned the ball over twice. LA had the lead after the first quarter, but after that, it was really in Arizona's control. The second half was not very close. It went into halftime being 24-13. Then the Cardinals go up 27-13. Rams don't do anything. They wind up going later in the third quarter, going up 34-13. Then 37-13. And then the Rams will put up a late touchdown to make it 37-20. This Cardinals defense, man, it's just something. It's really, really good. I mean, they deserve all the credit in the world. This is one of my favorite teams in the NFL. They're number 5 in total defense right now, but they have been absolutely smuggling teams. Number 4 in points allowed. Their only losses right now are to the Packers by 3 and to the Panthers. The Panthers one is weird. They didn't have Kyler though, so I give it. That's the only reason that I'm giving them any credit for that loss was because of Kyler. They should have beat the Packers. They didn't even have Devontae Adams. But this Cardinals team is still the best in the NFL. They got Kyler Murray. I love this offense so much. They have so many weapons. You got Kyler Murray. He can run. He can throw it. They got James Conner, the absolute beast in the red zone, getting all them touchdowns. And they got Chase Edmonds, the workhorse. Then this wide receiver course is awesome. It's awesome. You got Christian Kirk, speedy, fast. You got AJ Green, big, tall. You got DeAndre Hopkins, can do it all. Then you got Rondale Moore, quick, speedy. Then you got Zach Ertz, great tight end. And then you got Chase Edmonds out of the backfield. There are so many weapons for this team. I love the offense. I just love it. I love Cliff Kingsbury. I love it all. Defensively, you got Jordan Hicks, you got Isaiah Simmons, Byron Murphy, Buda Baker. Of course, you got Chandler Jones leading the way for that defensive line. It's just such a good team. I got to take them at home. I'm not saying this is my team to make Super Bowl, but I love them. I don't know if they can beat the Bucks in the playoffs, because that's who you got to compare to. Who do you got to beat to make the Super Bowl? You got to beat Tom Brady and the Bucks. I don't know if they can do that, but they can win this game versus the Rams. All right, that's all for this episode of On the Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Nazario Pangallo. I'll catch you later.